What's going on, guys? Don here from Freeway Music. Hope you're doing well today. We're going to be talking about a subject that a lot of guitar players are really curious about: how to have better solos on guitar. Although today's lesson might be intermediate slash advanced, it's a principle that works for anyone, beginner, advanced, any style of music, whether you're a lead guitar player or whether you're a songwriter, because no matter what you do, creating a story is most important. So whether you're writing a song or whether you're writing a solo, a lot of the same principles will apply. So whenever I was studying guitar with Robert Newton, he taught me about creating a story. Just like any story, you're going to have some rising action, you're going to have a climactic point, and you're going to have a little bit of falling action. A lot of guitar players struggle with the part of creating the rising action of a solo. So that's what I'm going to focus on today, is how to make your solo grow and like how to not come out too strong so that you can actually build your solo and keep the audience interests in the solo so you don't lose them. Okay. So let's go through some different techniques. Okay. So technique one is just using pitch. Okay. So the higher the notes go, the more the solo is going to feel like it builds. Okay. I'll demonstrate for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be using and again, I'm sorry if you don't understand these scales. I'm going to use the pentatonic, A minor pentatonic scale, and I'm going to be using the A Dorian mode today. Those are the two scales that I'm using, A pentatonic and A Dorian. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start low in the scale, and then I'm going to build up using pitch. So I'll start like lower in the register like this. You can see as I get higher, it already feels a little bigger, right? Good, and I use a little bit of falling action right there to make it feel like I was kind of bringing the solo down, right? So I built the solo up using pitch, and then I brought the solo back down using pitch. And it's as simple as just kind of like starting low and going higher in the register and coming back down. By the way, the track I'm using to jam with today is a minor Dorian groove track. It's big shout out to Quist TV. That's Quist TV, Quist TV. They have a lot of really great backing tracks on YouTube. There are some really corny and cheesy ones out there. Quist is pretty dope. Their tracks are pretty awesome. So check them out. So what we're going to talk about now is the second thing that I like to use in my solos to make the solos grow. That's going to be volume, or dynamics, if you will. Okay. There's a lot of ways to get dynamics with this instrument, and a lot of them that people miss out on. So let's talk about the basic one first. That's just like making your pick dig in lighter or harder. So if I'm playing a lick like this versus, I mean, it's crazy how much dynamic I get just in my pick alone, right? So I could be jamming like this. And I'm using a light touch. Touch is like kind of like how a lot of people say that guitar player has great touch has kind of how you use your hands and your fingers to create dynamics with your guitar, right? So I could do like a real light touch, and I can dig in. So that's all just really with the power of my pick, okay? So that'll create some dynamic to make your solo grow, just using your dynamic in your pick. Another thing you can do is use your fingers instead of using your pick. So what I like to do is I like to tuck my pick away like this into these fingers, and then what I do is I use my thumb and index finger a lot, This is great. It gives you like more of a warm, like a round tone, you know. Sometimes you don't even have to pick, right? That's just a real light touch, right? I'm just using my fingers, barely picking. And then by the time you get your pickup, it's a lot louder. So you got your fingers, you got your pick that you can use for different for volume and such. I like to sometimes like create like almost like two voices. Like I got somebody playing over here and somebody playing over here, like two different guitar players. It's kind of dope. You can like be right here, you know. So you got like, I'm just doing the same lick up here that I was doing down here. It's kind of cool. What I'm doing is I'm just creating like almost like, it sounds like two guitar players are doing some call and response, right? Where one person plays something and the other guy quotes it right back at them, you know? That's a dope technique too. And I think that it can like help build your solos as well. So volume, we've talked about using our pick. We talked about using our fingers versus our pick. Your pickup selector right here, this is another one that's really huge. Like this, and I'll put a little gain on so you can hear it here. I've got, I'm all the way on my neck pickup. It's going to be a warmer, kind of a warmer tone, right? Versus like going all the way over here to the bridge. It's going to be cutting a lot more, right? So that over here on the bridge is going to be like, it's going to be cutting a lot more and cut through. And it's also, in this case, I have a humbucker over here, which is, and for you guys don't know what humbuckers are, two single coils together in this one pickup. And this, it's going to have like a louder sound, a more rocking sound. It's going to cut through a little bit more. But just going over to your bridge in general versus your neck pickup is going to give you a lot of tone difference. So this is going to be more warmer, round sounding. This is going to be like brighter and cutting through. All right, sorry about that. My guitar's freaking out on me apparently. Awesome. So that's using, you can use your pickup selector to your advantage. You know, maybe you start your solo over here. You know, like. You go over here, bro. Yeah, maybe switch over there to get like a little bit more aggressive and aggro with your solo, right? So your pickup selector is very crucial for like, you know, changing your tone for your guitar and jam and stuff like that. Another really great tool that a lot of guitar players overlook is the volume knob. The volume knob is like massive for like making your solo sound awesome. Here, I'll demonstrate just the volume knob without music and then with the solo. So one of the things I love about single coil guitars like Strats, not that I plug in Fender or anything like that. I'm not getting paid by them, unfortunately. But so is that when your volume knob's turned down, it's a clean sound. And when it's all the way up, it's like. So there's a lot in between there, right? Like right now, I'm down on 2, right around 4. I use my little screw right here in my pickup to like measure mine. If I go up to 6, 8, right? And 10. It's kind of crazy like how much is happening with just this knob right here. JD Simo, he's a really great guitar player. He plugs his Gibson straight into a Marshall and he'll just use his volume knob for everything and it sounds dope. So let me show you guys a little bit what that could be like, how that can like make your solo grow. And I'm just going to try to use my volume knob to help my solo grow. Good. So, and then I use my volume knob to kind of bring it back down a little bit. So this is a really great tool. And while this is all the way up, if I was here, I can flip down to this pickup if I want to cut through a little bit more. So you can use a combination of like picking softer, picking harder, using your volume knob, using your pickup selector. You know, I could start off with my fingers at a very low volume on the neck pickup, and then I could use my pick, bring my volume knob up, and then go over here. You know, just it's crazy like what you can do with just these two guys right here. I mean, just one of them in general can give you a lot of dynamics in your soloing, but you can use both of them together to really create this huge dynamic in your solo, to get some rising action in your solo. Okay, so we talked about voices. I'm sorry, we talked about volume and we talked about pitch. Okay, so the next few things I'm going to talk about are voices. So that means like playing. This kind of goes with volume, kind of hand in hand with volume. I separated it a little bit just because it's a different skill set, I feel like, in that you would be playing more than one note. So if I was doing a solo and I was just doing like a single note, like this, like here, I'll show you. Just doing some single notes. Back this guy up here. So if I was just doing some single notes. Versus like doing like maybe octaves, right? So the octaves right away, they have like more power to them, right? You can tell that they're a little bit more, a little louder because it's two notes. Right? Or if you had like a pedal tone, like the high E string. So that obviously has a lot more power than just adding a little extra layer there. Or if I were just to do like stack two notes on top of each other in the pentatonic scale. That's gonna make your solo like bigger too. Like so by just like stacking notes, and you can stack as many notes as you want. You know, like you could do full on chord soloing. I'm playing 4 notes at a time right there. So it makes sense, right? The more voices you add, the more you're going to grow the dynamic of the solo. All right. So we've talked about dynamics through just using your pick and your guitar and your tone, and even just stepping on the going from clean to distortion is another big way that you can like make your dynamic grow. We talked about doing pitch, like going from low to high, and we also talked about doing more voices, right? Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk to you about is repetition. When you repeat something, it tends to stick to people. When you repeat something, it tends to stick to people. See what I did there? I repeated it because I wanted to make sure that you understand repeating things sometimes is a really great way to get someone to really pay attention to what you're saying. And I think it's a great way to grab someone. And I think it does build a dynamic, you know? So if I have a lick that I'm playing and then I just repeat it, then it's going to like build the dynamic in the solo. Let me see if I can give you an example. So if I was doing a lick like this, let's see. This is kind of like a hack, right? Like this is one of those things where you do it, like every other guitar player is like, oh, there's that thing. But the crowd's like, yeah, they're like getting way into it. And all you're doing is just repeating something. Right? I mean, you pick any lick you want to do, just start repeating it over and over again, you know? There you go. Whatever it is, it could be just one note, you know. I mean, it doesn't have to be complicated. If you just repeat it and you kind of own it, you just dig into it, you play it over and over again, it's going to build like the solo. People are going to be like, whoa, what is this? This guy's awesome. And all you're doing is just like really just hammering out. No, really what you're doing is you're really phrasing, right? You're creating a phrase and you're repeating it, and you're making people grab onto it. So I love that one. It's called repetition. So the last one I'm going to talk about is probably in my opinion, the most important one. So I saved it for last. So if you're tuned in now, you can't hang up because this is the most important piece and you'll miss the most important piece. This is going to be space. So when you're communicating with someone, it's very important to leave space because it gives them an opportunity to think about what you said and it gives them an opportunity to respond. Did you feel that? Like everybody's now thinking like, what's he gonna say next? And you're also thinking about what I just said because I left some space there. When you're having a conversation with someone, you know, if I just met you and I came up to you and was like, hey, how's it going? My name's Don. How you doing? It's really, I play guitar. I work at this place called Freeway Music, blah, blah, blah. And I just started like talking your ear off. You'd be like, oh my gosh, I hope this person will leave me alone. And I don't want to know this person anymore because I would have just like, just ambushed you with a bunch of words and conversation. But if I want to have a groovy conversation with someone, leaving some space and then building to that point of where we're kind of like riffing and talking about stuff rapidly together is way more natural than just coming out running. So what you don't want to do in your solo is to come out blistering, right? You don't want to come out with this like, here you go, down here. Because then you have nowhere to go. Right, you're just hauling butt, nowhere to go. So the way to practice space is, this is great. So listen to this, guys. This is golden nugget for you. Just when you're playing and you're taking a solo, and right when you want to go play the next note, don't wait and force yourself to wait just a little bit longer. And it feels uncomfortable at first, but it's beautiful. So let's watch. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's just say I come out like with a lick like this. And naturally, I want to play right there. But I waited just a little bit longer, right? Did you feel that? And then as it progresses, I can pick it up a little bit. Right? And as it goes, you a little busier. Then you're back into that lick from earlier. Then you're like in a lick that's like much busier and you know whatever, and you're you're kind of saying a lot more, right? But you kind of build up to it. So let me do a solo. I'm gonna do a quick example for you. I'm gonna start really chill and try to build it up using space. And here's an example of it. Here you go. Cool. All right. So what I was doing there, you know, whatever, no perfect solo, but whatever, man. It's just giving you guys an example of like how to build using space. All right. So just quick review for you guys. We talked about today. We talked about pitch, volume, voices, repetition, space, just building a solo. So whenever you're writing a solo from here forward, what you want to do is start off and try to build, have some rising action to a climatic point, and then a little bit of falling action, and tell a story with your solo. You know, don't just come out running. Uh, Take a deep breath. Let the solo write itself. All too often, I don't know about you, but I end up like sometimes trying to like chase a solo. I try to like make it like more than it needs to be at the moment. You know, you got to live in the moment and let it kind of build itself and write itself. So just taking a deep breath, putting some space in your solo, using your guitar and your tools to your advantage to help you build to that climatic point. And I promise you, the next time you're playing in front of an audience and you're taking a solo, that your solo you'll move with it a lot more, and the audience will also move with it a lot more and identify with it a lot more too. I hope that you enjoyed this, and if you have any questions or anything, please comment on the post. And if there's something you want to learn about in the future, just let me know. I'll be happy to teach you guys anything you want to learn about anything. So we're doing these for you guys. These videos are for you, for your enjoyment, for you to learn and get better. And I guess I'll see you guys next week.